Hey Jace, welcome back to the Drum Shack. I wanted to give you your weekly review so you have some things to practice this week. The first thing we did is talked about rudiments. We worked on our triplets and our Swiss Army triplets today. So with our rudiments, we started counting those a little bit differently than we've counted our 8th note rudiments we've been working on, and differently than our 16th note rudiments. With our triplets, we are counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, depending on what we're going to be doing with our triplets. So for our rudiment, let's count them as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We can start with both hands, and I do recommend practicing with both hands, and start at a slower tempo, 45 beats per minute. Sounds like a good starting point, and then you can work your way up. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Notice how I'm accenting all the ones, and by doing that, the alternating accenting pattern gives it kind of a train rhythm as it's moving down the tracks. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So practice your triplets, counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You can start with either hand as a lead, although it really doesn't matter because that rudiment naturally switches hands every set of 3. So you'll get good practice either way. Now let's talk about our Swiss Army triplets. Our Swiss Army triplets are triplets, but instead of a normal triplet pattern where we alternate our sticking, we're going to be using a flam and a tap. So a flam tap plus an additional note at the end. If I do a right-handed Swiss Army triplet, I do a right-handed flam with a tap and a left. Right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left. Or you can reverse it and do a left-handed Swiss Army triplet. Left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right. And you can practice that again at 45 beats per minute and work your way up to 60 or beyond. So practice slow and build your speed as you go. Now for the drum beat today, since we didn't have any new theory, for our drum beat today we talked about using those triplets in a 16th note fashion, and we're going to be playing a drum groove on the hi-hat. We're using both hands to play the beat. And we talked about counting this one a little bit differently for the sake of understanding where the bass drum and the snare drum fall. So we're going to start our drum groove, left hand on the hi-hat, and every time we count to 4, we're going to hit the snare drum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. We can then add our bass drum on the 1 of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the 1 again in the next phrase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. We can also count it a little bit differently if we want to use a 16th note feel. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1, 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. So I want you to practice your triplet beat, your 16th note triplet beat, using your bass drum on count 1 and count 3. Snare drum is going to land on 2 and 4, or if you are using the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 counting method, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's your drum beat to practice this week. I would recommend taking it at a slow tempo until you get comfortable with the pattern that we're using and then try to gradually speed it up as you go. Now, the other thing that I will include with you at the end of this video is the slowed down version of the Johnny Test song, which you expressed interest in learning, so you can practice that. And remember, that is just a quarter note. Actually, let's use an eighth note beat on that one. And we're using 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The actual song is much, much faster, but we're going to slow it down, and you can use a video, which I will link right after this video ends. So practice that beat as well. It'll give you a good practice with 16th note triplets, or triplet rudiments, along with a nice steady 8th note rock beat. Have a great week. I hope you get some good practice time in. And remember, 15 to 20 minutes a day will get you on your way. Have a good one. Bye, Jace.